hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
Welcome back to the Heavy Metal Mayhem Radio Show. It is Sunday, November 12th. We survived another week from the canceling policy of Spreaker, so that's 2 weeks in a row. I guess we figured out a way to work around their rules over here. At least they find out and they cancel us again, but we'll see what happens, and we'll play it by ear. But hey, we got a great show for everybody tonight. The Professor, Chris Black from High Spirits, is our guest. We'll be talking to Chris in about a half hour, so we're getting on a lot of music between now and then. Right there, Wine Tea with Mean Streak. Love that album and that song. It's good to see YT active again. Dave Meniketti has been fighting cancer for quite some time now, but they've got a couple of shows coming up, I believe, this month, and then they're heading out on a pretty lengthy tour in 2024. I have to check the schedule. I hope to come to the New York City area. I haven't seen YT since probably the mid to early 80s live, so it'd be great to catch them. Even though it's only Dave Meniketti in the band today, most of the other members of the band have deceased, or most of them were out of the band before any of that happened anyway. But they were a great band, and Dave really was the heart and soul of that band. So it'd be cool to see them live if they head anywhere into the East Coast area. All right, we're going to keep the music going here tonight for as long as we can before our next guest calls in. How about we do some Hell's Dagger, Metal Rebels?
The road is filled with
Pretty Maids with Shelly the Maid, and right before that, Sacred Warrior with Master's Command. A lot of those Sacred Warrior songs, for some reason, sort of remind me of like early Queensryche. It's just got that vibe to it. The singer sounds a little bit like Jeff Tate, and with that and the guitar work, it kind of reminds me of Queensryche. But I kind of enjoy those guys. And Pretty Maids, back in 1983, being a 13-year-old kid during that summer, right before my 14th birthday, having a part-time job delivering newspapers. I think I might have been working in the bakery back then. Didn't make a lot of money, maybe $10 a week delivering newspapers. After you got tipped by a few people, maybe a quarter back then, 50 cents. Didn't come out to much money. And I used to go to the record store on a weekly basis. But, I had maybe once a month I bought all my records. I would save up the money each week and go and buy something. And I remember going in there. I wanted to get the Queensryche EP because I remember having the demo tape and some of the stuff from Myth, and I wanted to go get it. And every time I went in there to go get it, I saw another album put up on the wall that I wanted more than that. Slayer Show No Mercy was out around that time, and that album cover just kicked the shit out of the Queensryche logo. So I said, I got to get the Slayer one, so I went and got that. And the same thing happened with the Pretty Maids EP when that came out. I walked in there, had just gotten the Pretty Maids demo, the second demo, Heavy Metal, maybe a month or two before the album actually was released. At least when we got it here in the U.S. It was probably out months before that back then. Who the hell knew without any internet to find out what was going on in the world? But by the time they had it in there, I walked in, I said, all right, I'm going to get the Queensryche finally. After passing it up for two other albums that came out. And I walked in there and I saw the EP of this girl straddling the guitar with her stockings on. It says, I just got the demo too and it's really good. I got to go buy this. So Queensryche got put off for another couple of weeks. But I remember picking up that album and falling in love with Pretty Maids. And when I look back at them now, I kind of equate it to the same as Def Leppard. Those first 2 or 3 Def Leppard albums were fantastic. I loved them all. Then they just really went commercial in AOR. And the same thing kind of happened with Pretty Maids. The EP came out in 83. That was great. Red Hot and Heavy. You sort of saw the writing on the wall, but it was still a good record. Future Will was a continuation of that, but a little bit more polished. And then by the time Jump the Gun and Lethal Heroes came out a few years after that, I think it was around 80, actually it was around 1990. There were some big gaps between those records. They had gone completely commercial, and I kind of lost it for them, I bought all the records over the years, because I was a fan of the band, but it was never the same. And the last record that came out on Dress Your Man, it really was like a culmination of everything that they've done over those last 20 years. But then the band kind of went silent. I know Ronnie Atkins has been battling stage 4 cancer for many years now. And then after that record came out, COVID hit a year later, so nobody was playing anywhere. So I thought between COVID and him having cancer, that's why Pretty Maids were pretty much inactive. But Ronnie did release, I think, 1 or 2 solo records during that time. But they just announced this week that Pretty Maids are going to get active again in 2024. And the problem was that, Ken Ham and Ronnie Atkins had a falling out. They weren't talking. It had nothing to do with COVID, which would have slowed them down anyway for a year or two. But the two of them just weren't talking and getting along. So I guess they're trying to patch things up. It'd be nice to see them get out there one more time. It'd be even better if they went out there and did a set of classic songs from those first 3 or 4 records. That would be amazing if they can make that happen. We'll see. I'm sure they'll get booked on quite a few festivals if they did that. And we'll get to talking about the festivals later on in the show. I have something sticking in my craw this week about a lot of those festivals coming up, but we'll get to that in a little while. But let's keep the music flowing right here. There was Pretty Maids. Let me see. What can we do right now? I know Christian sent me his request. I'll get that on in a little bit. How about we do a little, let's do some Manowar.
For the haircut and the bullets come free. My Uncle Sam sent a letter, said, "You got a mission for me." Now I'm a ranger, not a stranger, and I live in Saigon. We've got a team of special forces, and we deliver napalm. But if they tell you that I've lost my mind, maybe it's not gone, just a little hard to find. By the time this letter gets home, I'll be gone, gone, yeah, gone.
knocked the marble within and cried out, "Daddy, please open up the door." His mother's eyes were filled with tears. The boy couldn't understand. He was too young to know that's not to cry. Too young to know what it means. His mother told him, "Daddy's gone for a long journey." was too young to know that not to cry.
All right, Christian wanted to hear Lust. There you go. There were about 50,000 bands named Lust in the 80s. That was the one from France. That's a really long song, clocking in at close to 10 minutes. All right, we're going to talk to the professor, Chris Black, in a few minutes. You know, all the festivals are starting to announce their lineups for next year, and one of the members of a band, I don't remember which one it was commented on like how, you know, the festival takes place this weekend, say, and the next day they're already announcing the entire lineup pretty much for the next year's festival. And they were saying, how can any other band possibly get on the bill when, you know, the next festival is booked up and, you know, we have a new record coming out we want to promote and we can't even get on there. And he is right about that too. I mean, and when you think about like Keep It True, which is like probably the main festival for most of the underground people, I mean, after a while, it's just starting to get redundant. It's the same bands year after year after year. And you could try to mix them up all you want, but there are only so many bands out there. Maybe Keep It True doing 2 festivals a year, a couple of months apart, is doing more damage than good because it's just a constant repetition of the same bands. And, you know, now what happens is you start getting bands that aren't really bands anymore, or they're just one-member bands. You know, this is something I bitch about all the time, but, like, you have Keep It True coming up this year in April. Heavy Loaders on the bill. That you couldn't get any better than that. You know, they haven't been active in, like, 3 or 4 decades, and they're playing behind their new record, so that's a really cool thing. They got Gravedigger Theater, which I saw Gravedigger a couple of times in my life, and I always liked them live, and Chris is a great singer and a really cool guy. But now they added Liege Lord. Liege Lord is just Tony, the guitar player. Matt, the bass player, just passed away a few months ago. There's no other original members of that band, but, you know, the label has a tribute to Matt Vince, the bass player that passed away. So they'll probably have special guests coming and playing, but to me, there were other bands out there that could have had that spot that are full-time active bands. Some bands from the 80s with a lot of original members, you know, a core set of the original lineup that could have took that spot. They have I Am Morbid on the bill. I Am Morbid. When did, you know, Keep It True stuff featured like, you know, death metal type of bands? Yeah, I Am Morbid. I mean, you got Morbid Angel out there playing with Trey. You got Vince's version, you know, with I Am Morbid. You know, it's just stupid in my opinion. There's not a lot of bands on this lineup that really would interest me if I had to go there. I know it's going to be packed. The tickets will probably be sold out. But there's nothing spectacular about this lineup in my opinion. You do have Stormwitch on there with, I think, 3/4 of the original lineup, so that's a pretty cool thing. Vengeance is on there, but I'm not even sure who's in Vengeance anymore, to be honest with you. You have Attacker headlining the warm-up show. Attacker should have been on one of the main nights you're playing. I mean, they're better than most of the bands on there, in my opinion. And Keep It True, you know, Rising, a lot of the same repetitions over there. We were talking about Warlord and the Checkers. I had said early in the year when Warlord announced they were getting back together again to play shows in tribute of Bill, that they would be booked on every single festival, but it hasn't happened so far. They were supposed to make an announcement about upcoming shows. It didn't happen, but they will be on a lot of festivals. They'll be added on later, or something will happen. And, you know, Seraph Ungle already got a lock on every single festival. Every festival next year has Seraph headlining it because it's their final year, which I get, but it was only a year ago that they played every festival. So, you know, when does it end? When do we start, like, looking up new bands? I mean, there are a lot of bands from the 80s that are still around that haven't played these festivals in maybe 10 or 15 years. Bands that haven't played at all. Let's get some of these bands an opportunity to get in this bill. Stop repeating the same bands over and over again. And here's an idea. Maybe all these festival promoters should get together at the beginning of the year and say, hey, let's try to make it so we don't all have the same bands on the bill. That way we could draw fans from each, you know, country to go to these shows and everything like that, you know. Maybe if Up the Hammer spoke with Keep It True and Keep It True talked with Legions of Metal or Blades of Steel, they could work something out where they didn't constantly repeat the same bands from festival to festival. Just a little, you know, just my opinion, but that's how I feel about that. All right, we got to get to High Spirits. They got a brand new record out. Chris Black always delivers. Safe on the Other Side. It's out right now. Let's play a track off the new record. How about we do, let me see what we can dig up here first. We'll do Till the End of Time. We'll talk to Chris, play another track, and then get back to the rest of the show. Here you go.
Good, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's nice to have you on. I appreciate you calling in.
Hey, pleasure's all mine. I think is this three times now? I know it's at least two.
Yeah, I think the last three records we had, we spoke to each other.
Awesome, awesome.
And I'm glad that you're back with another record, Safe on the Other Side. I mean, High Spirits, Chris Black, I should say, you deliver every single time. Never disappoint.
Oh, well, thanks.
Always know what you're going to get, but yet you never know what you're going to get. It's like a mixed bag.
Oh, well, I guess I can be thankful for that. Then keep you on your toes a little bit, but I don't want to throw you. I don't want to throw you something you can't hit.
I hear that. Well, what's amazing is that you have bands like AC/DC and Thin Lizzy. I mean, Angus Young ran around with the schoolboy outfit on, but they were like five guys that just wore street clothes and just let the music do the talking. And I think that, High Spirits is the same way. There's no pomp and circumstance. There's no imagery. There's no denim and leather, long hair, this and that. The music does all the talking for you, and that's kind of impressive that you don't have to put on this whole big show and create drama and controversy and come up with crazy album covers just to let people know that you guys are really good, and that's a good thing. I mean,
Well, I appreciate hearing that because that's been very much the way that we have. I guess the way that we've chosen to play the game, you could say. We want to use the music and the lyrics. In a way that that we're leading with those things, just with the songs. We want the songs to do the work of grabbing people, of pulling them close, and of keeping them with us, hopefully for the long haul. Just like you said, Mike, it's not an image band. We don't have a big line of merchandise or, all these different tie-ins and T-shirt bundles that other bands do. More power to them. If that's the way it works for another band, then great. I wish them all the best. But for us, like I said, kind of by design, right from the beginning, my concept, my motivation, if you want to say, was to just do it with music and lyrics, period, and I have to say there are some drawbacks to doing that. Again, coming back to the merchandise, when it's time for us to come up with a T-shirt design, oh man, that can be a real challenge. That can be a real challenge because, if we're a death metal band, it's like, you just get a cool drawing of Satan or some zombies or something, slap your logo on that, and you got a T-shirt that you probably sell a few hundred of. And again, that's how a lot of bands roll. That's how a lot of bands do their thing, and it works for them. We're not that kind of band. We're almost the, like you said, the no image or the anti-image band. So, we've got a plain red shirt with the Black High Spirits logo, and we've got a plain black shirt with the Another Night album cover on it, and every time we try to extend beyond that, it's like, geez, I don't know what else there is. What else can we do? You can't put a song on a T-shirt. You know what I mean? And that's what that's what our currency is the song. So it's great to hear you kind of reflect that back, and that's exactly what we're going for here.
Yeah, I never thought about that with the merchandise before. You must be like a marketing person's nightmare because I can't figure out how to market you guys. Sell merchandise like that. But the fans love you.
Real talent.
I'm sure, but the fans love you guys. And if I remember when the band kind of got started, it really wasn't meant to be a band. You were just writing music and looking to put it out there, and maybe that's where it all stemmed from. That it really wasn't a band, I guess, in the very beginning, like a live playing band, I should say.
That's exactly right, Mike. And it was it was almost an accident that it even happened to that degree. I had kind of found some inspiration to maybe do a little writing on the side of what other things I was doing musically at the time, and came up with these demos. The first song was Torture, I believe. The second song was called Night After Night. I may be wrong on that. It may have been Wings of Fire before Night After Night. But in any case, I had these demos which were very basic, but which I figured, you know what? These are turning out kind of cool. Let's set them up online. It was MySpace was the main platform at the time.
Yeah.
This was early 2009. MySpace was the main platform. So what I did, I created a page with just a little High Spirits logo, no information, nothing but the logo, and again, the music and the lyrics, just the songs. And that was what kind of went out into the world and started to get some attention. And you're exactly right that I think it was, let's say that was in February, and then we played live in August of that same year. So it was 6 months, 7 months later that it was kind of like, oh, well, maybe this isn't just an imaginary band. Maybe there's a little more to this than just a MySpace page with some songs. But you're right, that was not the plan. And when we got invited to play live, I was like, well, at first I said no, because it's not a band. It's just me with my computer and my guitar, kind of. I don't want to say fooling around because it was serious at the same time, but it was very basic, design, basic concept. So at first I said no, I don't know how we would even do this live, or how to define we for the purpose of playing live. But long story short, the concert promoter, who it was actually two guys putting on a particular show in Chicago. I don't want to say they wouldn't take no for an answer, but they kept asking until I said yes. And at that point, I had kind of roped in a few friends of mine, say, hey, you guys want to learn some songs and give this a shot? And that's kind of how it all got rolling as a live band for us.
That's fantastic. When you said just, I was doing a little writing on the side, I would think that you're writing all the time, because if you look at your output, I mean, Superchrist, Professor Black, High Spirits, Dawnbringer, Actor, and all the other bands that you work with, record with and play with, I think that's all you do 24 hours a day is write music and record. It's such an amazing output of music.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it would be nice. I've gotten a little slower as I've gotten older. I think that happens. I think that happens to all of us, and kind of also. I can't deny it. High Spirits has taken off, or took off, and led me to places that some certain other groups haven't had the opportunity to go. So it's very natural that as a result of that becomes more of a priority, something I then invest more of my time and effort into. And I think, if I'm to go back in time, back to 2009 when High Spirits began, I think at that time I was very focused on Superchrist as kind of my main priority. Dawnbringer was doing a little bit around then, not much. Pharaoh was always very much a studio thing from beginning to end. That was never really a live band. That was more like a songwriting and studio production outlet for me and for all of those band members. So it was really Superchrist that was the priority at the time, and High Spirits was kind of like a side path to that. If High Spirits formed in parallel to any other group or any other outlet, that would definitely be Superchrist. And for a long time, they did exist in parallel. I think Superchrist lasted another 4 years from there. Superchrist continued till 2013. That was definitely a time in my life when there was a lot going on. There was always something. I was always in the process of doing one thing and preparing for the next thing, and usually recovering from whatever the thing was that I had just finished doing, kind of all at the same time. But that's me in my 30s, and as I've gotten older and gained more of a family, it's all the cliches that kind of turn out to be true. You get older, you buy a house, you have kids, your kind of career, in my case, my creative profession gets a little more defined. The priorities kind of define themselves a little more. So, yes, as I've gotten older, I've gotten slower. And also High Spirits has become more of a natural priority, let's say, for me in the meantime. But yes, I mean, things are good. I still have more ideas musically than I really have time to kind of manifest. I have this whole kind of like imaginary catalog of bands and projects and songs that, sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes that bothers me. Going back maybe 10 years in my life, that bothered me a lot, that I was always kind of struggling to kind of find the time to do all these things that I wanted to do. For as much as my output was during that time, I still felt like it should have been more. I was really kind of on my ass about, like, why aren't you finishing this, and all these other ideas and all these loose ends and kind of loose threads, kind of in my creative world. And I've learned since then definitely to be more patient with myself in that regard, kinder to myself. It's like, look, you're not going to have time to finish everything. That's just not the way this works. You know what I mean? You're going to have to pick and choose and prioritize, and you're going to have to learn to be okay with that. And that's an area where I feel, like I said, that I've done some work, and I've definitely got a better attitude towards that nowadays.
Sure. I guess that's one of the demons of being so creative, is that there's so much going on, and there's never enough time. Especially because when you think about it, you're like a one-man band. You write all the music, you record everything, you play all the instruments. It's a hard thing to do. But in the same sense, sometimes you say, like, you're in a band with 3, 4, 5 other guys, and everybody kind of splits the load, contributes things, and people tend to think there's this great camaraderie all the time to all the band members, where they go into a studio and it's brilliant, coming up with songs and throwing things back and forth. And maybe every now and then it's like that, but when you're the guy guiding the ship, writing the music, writing the lyrics, controlling the destination of all the music, it may be a lot on you, but in the end, isn't it better because the consistency of what you're looking to accomplish is always going to be there?
For this band, yes. I don't know how, honestly, how it works with other bands. Other bands that we've gotten to know and that we've been around, it tends to be true. I'm not saying it's universally true, but I think it tends to be true that there's a clear leader, or there's a clear two people who are the leader, whether that means creatively or with booking the shows or designing the album covers and the merchandise or driving the van. That's often the same one or two people that kind of, they're like the human clearinghouse for all of those tasks, right? And with the songwriting and that whole aspect of High Spirits, I don't know if it would be, it's certainly possible that it would be better if it wasn't just me trying to take it all on and do it all myself. I don't know if it would be better or if it would be worse. What I do know is that it would definitely be different, right? To change that process, the outcome is going to be different. It's not going to be the same. And I think at this point, after almost 15 years of doing it one particular way, it's too late really to kind of, we don't want to take the machine apart and try to put it back together in some better way, and then be like, oh, hey, where'd that piece go? Oh, and not be able to pull that off. So I think with this band, I can answer by saying it's too late to do it any other way. I don't want to have to like relearn everything that we've already learned. Some of which we've learned the hard way, and some of which we've been lucky not to have to learn the hard way. But in any case, I think it's too late to change our process, whether in the studio or at the live band.
I don't think you should. Whatever you're doing is working. But when you go to form a band like the live band now, we're getting offers. We're going to go out, put a band together. We're going to play live. How do you explain to 4 other guys, like, we're a band, but we're not really a band. You're going to play live with me, but I do all the recording, all the writing. I mean, like a studio musician is used to that. They go in, they bang out their tracks, they play what they have to play, they move on. They don't get credit for like the biggest songs that come out in the world, even though they play guitar or bass on. But that's part of the job. They know it. They expect it. Is it hard to convince 4 other guys to go up on stage and play these great songs and be a part of this band, but behind the scenes, I'm the guy who's going to write all the music? How does that work?
That's a question that could be better answered by those guys, but I can try to answer for them and say, in a lot of ways, they actually like that. They like that their job is kind of simplified to the point where they just have to do their homework, show up in Chicago knowing the songs forward and backward, up and down, and then we get on a plane and go play to 2,000 people in Germany, for example. I think I can fairly guess and say that they would say like that's actually pretty awesome. That they get to do the fun part. You know what I mean? They get to do. They kind of get to share in the payoff, get to share in the reward of the work that the albums do, of going out there, spreading the name, getting people excited about the music and excited to see the live band. And then, like I said, they show up, we hop in the van, and we go kind of get that reward as a group together. And I think if you've seen the band live, you've seen that it's very much a group effort on stage. It's not me standing in the middle under the spotlight and four guys, behind me in the shadows. It's quite the opposite. I mean, we're all up there. We're all up front. We're all, working our asses off, honestly, delivering a show that has the excitement that the audience is showing back to us, because that's where that magical connection really is when the band on stage and the audience watching them are kind of participating in that same energy and participating in creating that same energy. So live, High Spirits is very much a group. It's very much a five-piece band doing equal work, and getting paid equally too, I would add. I mean, it's very much a group situation when we're out there playing.
It is. I saw you guys at the Defenders of Old Fest in Brooklyn when you guys were on that festival.
Wow. Oh, that was a good one.
It was quite some years back, and that was my first. I mean, I knew all the music, but it was the first time seeing you guys live. And when you guys came on, the crowd just went ballistic, and there was so much energy on that stage. I mean, the energy on that stage, Chris, was unbelievable. And you're right; everybody feels like an equal partner up on that stage. You would not know that there was one guy who was, writing all. It was a band. That's the only way to say it. And it was just an amazing performance. And watching videos on YouTube, every performance is like that with you guys. You bring so much energy and so much vibrancy to every show that you play. It's amazing how the crowd reacts.
That's what we do. Like I said, it's never been anything but that. It's never been, even if I wanted it to be the other way, like I don't have the ego for that. I don't have the ego to be the guy standing in the spotlight, absorbing all the attention. Like I like to get my fair share, sure, but that applies to everybody on stage. And like I said, it's always been that way. And it's at the same time, it's never been. I've never made a big deal about the fact, or I don't feel like. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, but I don't feel like we've never treated it as a selling point that the albums are made just by me. I mean, that's been pretty downplayed. I would hope, in the album credits, in the publicity that we do. It's always a group photo. It's always kind of portrayed as a band. So I don't really have the ego that it would take to kind of like be shoving that back in people's faces. I mean, I do. I'm not saying I have no ego at all. I mean, obviously, it's kind of in one way, it's like a control freak thing for why I, like to create the music and produce the albums the way I do. But that's very, it's kind of like a personal thing. And again, it's also just, it's too late to do it any other way. It's just kind of it's the High Spirits way at this point, and it's been working. In the studio, it's been working live. So it comes back to the cliche of, why would you try to fix something that isn't broken?
Absolutely. Of course, you have so many bands going. When it comes time to writing, is there like a main folder that all the songs will go into, and then you say, this is a High Spirits song, this is a Dawnbringer song, this would fit with something else? Or do you specifically write for each band and each project as, you're ready to record with them?
It used to work more like the second way, where I would kind of say, okay, now I'm gonna write for this band, now I'm gonna work on a Dawnbringer song, now I'm gonna work on this, that, or the other thing. Lately, which is to say for the past 5 years, give or take, maybe longer than that. Maybe it's been more like 10 years. It's all one pile. If I have an idea, I have it must be like a 3-hour sound file that I've had on my computer for 10 years. That's just riff after riff after riff after riff. And sometimes I'll put a little marker on them to name them, but sometimes it's just, how the waveform looks on the computer. Sometimes it's just a little squiggle. I go back 2 years later, 4 years later, and I wonder what that little squiggle sounds like. Oh, that sounds like something I could use for this High Spirits album that I'm thinking about working on. And I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what I was thinking there. So it's more like I was trying to explain it to somebody else as like, it's like, think about it like a vegetable garden, okay? Like I had this place where these fruits and vegetables, this produce is kind of growing in the backyard. And then when it's time to cook, when it's time to whip something up in the kitchen, that's when I go out and maybe choose what exact things I want to harvest and bring inside and make a meal out of. I mean, it's a little bit of a cheesy analogy maybe, but it's not far off. It's just that the garden is it's always pretty overgrown, and it can be hard to kind of hack through it and find what I need. But it's more often than not, it's in there somewhere.
As a musician, I mean, I would imagine it's important to play in multiple bands or projects because, you have a band like Judas Priest. They had a distinctive sound. They stood with that sound for so long. Then the late 80s came around and hair metal was big, and they tried to change their sound to kind of fit in what was relevant at the time, and it turned off a lot of fans, and they had to come back an album later. So isn't it better to have different bands or projects where you can express yourself differently than kind of infecting your main band or the one band that people like for a certain sound with a different sound?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot to be said for that, and I think that you could probably trace the beginning of High Spirits to that kind of thinking. I had come up with maybe some riffs and maybe some lyrical ideas that definitely weren't going to fit in Superchrist, and rather than just kind of toss them aside or leave them in the garden, I was like, hey, let's maybe try to make something new. Something that's going to go onto its own track and follow its own path. Let's do that instead. So yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for that. It really depends on the band though, and it can depend on a lot. It can depend a lot on the expectations of fans, the expectations of a record company. I think the bigger a band gets, the more of that kind of pressure you're dealing with, and luckily that hasn't really happened to this band or really to any band that I've been a part of. It's all kind of played out in a very underground way. But I think when you're talking about Judas Priest and bands at that level, I think there is a lot of pressure, financial pressure. I mean, really, it's any other kind, right? That may affect some of those creative decisions, which may, in the long run, turn out to have been the wrong decision. But yes, for a band like this, for a songwriter like myself, definitely, it helps to have multiple containers, multiple pathways for things to take.
Sure, if you ask two different people, what do you think of High Spirits? Oh, they're a great rock band. They're a great metal band. People start to define things in genres very long time ago, but I think it's gotten worse over the years where everybody's being put in these little subcategories now, and it's kind of dividing, which was a big scene, into multiple little scenes. I mean,
yeah.
How do you look at it? How do you look at that? Because you go back to the '70s, Black Sabbath, Kiss, Thin Lizzy, they were all rock, completely different from each other. All rock bands. We went from rock to heavy metal to 50,000 different subgenres of the area. And I think it kind of divides things up because people don't give music a chance when they think it's of a certain genre that they're not into. But yet, it's amazing they just don't try it.
Yeah, it's too bad because when you kind of pull back and look at it, like the bands you mentioned, like Kiss, Black Sabbath, and Lizzy, they were musically really different, but they shared an audience to a great extent. They had overlapping audience, and you're exactly right that all these kinds of terminologies and categories being invented, they kind of work against that. They kind of divide the audience in a way that maybe isn't necessary. And I don't know I don't know where it comes from. You know, I can speculate that it's a media thing or something that record companies like to do. I mean, because it's marketing, right? They want you to identify a band in a certain way, so that if you have a taste in that particular area, maybe, oh, here's another record I got to buy, another band I want to check out. But I do agree with you that it becomes counterproductive at a certain point because it, like I said, it divides an audience that maybe doesn't need to be divided.
True. Chris, like we said earlier, you play all these instruments, you could do everything. What was the first one for you? What was the first instrument that you had gotten started with?
First instrument? Well, I played drums when I was like a toddler, the way kind of every toddler played drums, right? But then when I was 3 or 4, my parents babysat a piano. So that's the true answer, is that piano was my first instrument. And my parents had some friends who I think were between apartments or in the process of moving from one place to another, and they couldn't bring their piano with them right away. So my parents said, well, we'll keep the piano at our house until you can take it back. And at that point, I showed enough interest in this piano that we were babysitting, that when the friends took it back, my parents bought us our own piano and started me on lessons at the time. So I want to say I was about 4 when I started on piano lessons. And that lasted a while, and it gave me a lot of good skills and good practice. But as I got to be a teenager, drums came back big time. And I think even today, I would probably identify drums as my best instrument, as my main instrument. Now I've gotten pretty good on bass in recent years. I've never been much of a guitar player. I've tried, but guitar's always been very difficult for me. I can get by, but it's very time consuming. That's definitely the most difficult stage of any recording with High Spirits, is when it's time to lay down the guitars, because, man, I am slow. And some of that's being picky, but a lot of it's just because I have poor technique. So short answer is piano was my first instrument, but in terms of like where my heart ended up, I think the true answer is drums too.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I played guitar before switching over to bass, and I always wanted to play piano. I was like, oh, if you could play guitar, you could play piano. And I sit at the piano, like, I can't play this damn thing. What are people talking about?
No, I don't think it's true. I think a lot of the mental knowledge applies. Like, F sharp is F sharp, whatever instrument you're playing on, and you learn your scales and your chord shapes and stuff. I think that all transfers between instruments, but I think the physical technique, like what you have to do with your hands and your fingers to play piano, is so different from what you're doing on a guitar or a stringed instrument. I think that's a very, at least for me, and sounds like for you too, that's a very difficult transition.
I can never do it. I used to look at people like, I'm like, these people out of their mind. This is completely different. There's nothing even close to being the same. I'm like, there's 4 strings on the bass. What are all these keys doing here? Like, it's just too confusing.
I think that's why I ended up being okay on bass, is because it has 4 strings and because you can hit it a little harder, right? I mean, like a guitar doesn't tolerate the same amount of pressure. Whether on the fretboard or with the pick, you have to be really kind of sensitive in a way that's like the complete opposite of drums. I mean, so I think with bass, I think of those 4 strings as like 4 little drums, and maybe I'm okay then.
Yeah. Chris, I'm not going to keep you. I know you're doing interviews today. I mean, it's a busy day. But Safe on the Other Side, I mean, what an amazing job you did in this record. Just like on all the High Spirit records and all your music. Official release date, I think, is November 17th on High Roller Records. I mean, I know you're kind of laying low the rest of the year, getting really towards the end of it, but do you have anything already planned for 2024, or you're still working on it?
we're working on a few things right now. Nothing quite ready to announce. We're going to start off with a hometown show. It's going to be kind of a combination album release and 15th anniversary show. I think we'll do a nice long show, nice long set, I should say, and that'll be at the beginning of the year. It's just not quite ready to announce the details on that yet. And beyond that, who knows? Anything can happen, right? We have a very open mind to what might be coming next. So, like I said, I'm just kind of waiting to see on the local show and a few other things, and we'll just take it from there.
That sounds great, Chris. The best of luck with the band, all your bands, and this is an amazing record. We're going to play the hell out of it on this show and promote it for you.
Hey, thank you so much, Mike, and thank you for doing what you do so many years now. I can't believe 3 times now.
I know. Wait, the way you put out records and record, we'll be doing this another 25 before you're done.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Take care, Chris. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you waiting for a friend? Did you wonder, will we ever meet again? I've been waiting for this night. Oh, all our lives. Can't you see? It's the last place that I'll be. So go out and wait for me. I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, born by the night sky, and I'm gonna let it shine. Do you feel that I am near? Even though by every day I disappear, I've been watching from the sky. All this time, do you wonder why? When you look outside at night, sometimes it's so bright. I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, born by the night sky, and I'm gonna let it shine. We are joined again tonight. All these years I still remember what it's like. And now it's everything I do, shining onto you. Clear away the clouds. Now I'm beaming down. I wanna hear you howl. Woo! I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, I'm in the moonlight. Whoa, born by the night sky, and I'm gonna let it shine.
All right. If you haven't picked up the new High Spirits record yet, go ahead and do so. Whew, all right, well, we got about a half hour left in the show. We're going to play a few more songs, probably wrap it up a little earlier tonight. I don't want to take a chance on having Spreaker cancel the show again and deleting everything because we violated some policy by playing certain music and not. I think I've been working around it. I have to go to every single MP3 and delete all the properties of them to get them on it. But that also caused me problems because I have to report to the NACC and Metal Contraband charts, and I need the songs listed. That way they can be put up for, the top 10 list every week. So the College Music Journal and the rest of the stations can and the record labels to get the list, so it's making it more difficult for me. But I don't know what else to do. I canceled the ad share. I don't want to take any chances. I mean, we went almost 2 years for the assess something. So if I go another 2 years if it happens again, I guess I'll be fine with that. Who the hell knows? I spent the entire week trying to restart the show on Blog Talk Radio, but my numbers are inactive. They gave me a new guest number, which works fine, but my host dial number has not worked. I've been trying to reach out to them, and I remember just how bad customer service is over there because they take forever to get back to you. When they do, like, okay, we took care of it. Then you log on 2 minutes later, try to, start up a show, a test show, and it doesn't work still. So I'm hoping that Monday, I know it was a holiday weekend, hopefully tomorrow somebody will get back to me on that issue, and I might need a new host number or whatever, but once they do it, I think I'm going to go back there. What I love is that they offered me a 50% discount on the price of the service to come back there. Even with the 50% discount, Spreaker is still half the price of the discounted price. So, I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. I'll keep going on here for as long as I can until they do it again. Then we'll just have to go back to Blog Talk Radio, I guess. All right, let's forget about that. But the Rods, they got a brand new record coming out this January on Massacre Records. They finally got a label that'll help promote them a little bit and get the name out there. Not that you shouldn't know who the Rods are anyway. They've been around for like 40-something years. I'm going to play the title track of the record, Rattle the Cage, in a few minutes. I'm glad that Rock is singing on this record because last time I had Carl on the show was right in the beginning of COVID, around 2020, I guess. He was promoting his Kennedy record, and they had just brought in Michael Sansero, who is also the singer in the Kennedy band, Carl's solo band, as the new singer of The Rod. They did a bunch of shows with him and everything, and the guy's a great singer, don't get me wrong, but Rock to me has always been the voice of that band, and this isn't the first time that The Rods have done that. They brought my buddy Sammy in there, Shmulik Avigal. He came in around 86, 87 to sing with them, and I think there was one other guy they brought in. I think Rick Carter was also a part of them at that time, but I think it was more called Kennedy, Feinstein, Bordenera, and Cottle, but they considered it a Rods record, even though I don't think it really was officially a Rods album. So I'm glad that Rock is singing on the record again. I'm sure we'll have either Rock or Carl on the show in January when the record comes out for promotion. It's a really good record, man. Absolutely. And there's a video out for Rattle the Cage, so if you haven't seen it, go over to YouTube and check it out. Let's get on some brand new Rods for everybody right now. How does that sound? Or maybe not, because I can't find where the song even is. So maybe we'll have to skip that one. All right, let me see. You know what? We'll do something else first, and then I'll get the Rod on right after this. How about we do some Tank, Phil Towns of Hades?
Let's get busy!
All right, Action with Fury of the Tempest. Love those guys. Picked up an Action shirt a few months ago from the band. It's a pretty cool shirt. Before that, Leather Angel with Heart Shaker. Manila Road, Weavers of the Web. We finally got the Raj right off the cage on. You know what it is? After I have to delete the properties so I don't have any more issues with the songs. But on my switchboard, everything just shows copy. It doesn't show you the name of the song, the artist. So, when you click things, it's just randomly getting anything. But, I make a little cheat sheet now so I know in order of what they are so I can just go right to the band and figure it out. But I didn't write the Raj one on there, so I apologize about that. And before that, we started off that set with Tank and the Filth Hounds of Hades. We're going to wrap it up here tonight with one more tune. I want to thank Chris Black for being on tonight's show. Next Sunday night, Lou Falco from Wicked Mariah. And who else do we have here? Now Ravage from Ravage. So we only got about, I think, 4 live shows left for the year. Then we're going to do our 2 holiday specials, which will probably get us canceled again because they're all music. So we'll find out then. And then we got a week or 2 off around the holiday time. So there you go. I seen that Jeremy King has parted ways with the Venom Inc., leaving Tony Dolan as the only member of that band right now. Mantis is sitting out because his wife is sick and he's supporting her and being by her side. So I don't know who the new drummer is going to be. We'll see. I wish they would have gotten back to the Empire of Evil stuff and kind of left the whole Venom Inc. thing behind them. That was another Keep It True boondoggle. If you heard the interview we did with Mantis, he really wasn't crazy about using that name or going out under it, but, Ali from the thing kind of talked him into it and said, we'll do a special set, and he went along with it and wound up turning into the name of the new band that they're doing. But I wish they would have kept Empire of Evil, in my opinion. It was some really good music on there. And they also mixed in a couple of the old Venom tracks too, some of the stuff from Tony's era and some of the stuff from Mantis' era. So, I guess it is what it is, right? Who knows? And I was reading that Rick Allen is still traumatized and trying to work through the trauma getting shoved when he was here in New York, I think. Somebody shoved him. I don't know if he fell down or just got knocked back a little bit. But, Rick, let me tell you, wasn't this the tough guy drummer like in the 80s when he wanted to fight everybody and everything? If you watch that Def Leppard movie that was on, he was a little tough guy. Now, all of a sudden, he's worried about getting shoved by somebody. You're in New York, buddy. Listen, we'll get shoved 45 times a day going to work and coming home from work. That's just part of living in New York. So, even though this was intentional, somebody tried to push him. I don't know. Maybe I want to see if he could balance better with one arm. Who knows? But toughen up, guy. This is life. They get real soft and they get rich, don't they? All right. I guess I'll never get soft. There you go. All right. So thank you, Chris, for being on tonight's show. We'll see you guys next Sunday. How about we wrap it up here tonight with some Robin Danger, Counterattack. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday night.
Fire! Mike, I raise my fists to the success of the Heavy Metal Mayhem radio show. You are making metal great again.